Well, one thing I'm pretty sure is never going to be said about my channel is that I shy away from difficult topics. And I really don't think you're going to get a more difficult, more controversial topic than interracial dating, BDSM, race play, and so on. And makes me almost question my sanity by even posting this video, but the reality is my channel is meant to empower people. It's meant to help inform and educate people. It's meant to help add additional insight, perspective, and it's meant to leave you feeling like you're okay to be you. And there's a lot of things in life that we struggle with. I mean, I have so many things myself that I don't even want to like. Car crash compilations. I mean, what the fuck is that about? You know, like, why do I want to watch people get in car accidents? But it's just like a train wreck. You don't want it to happen. You wouldn't make it to happen, but you're happy to watch it happen. And so there's a lot of things that we deal with and struggle with. And this video, I was actually, I'm going to do a few videos on BDSM, daddy dom, little girl stuff. I'm just going to try to get the things that I've had on my mind out of the way, all kind of in one chunk of videos. And I was going to include this in it, but it's really too big of an issue, I think, because in reality, as a black female, you already have things to reconcile with, race issues and gender issues. And then if you add any BDSM, anything to it, there's such a history of violence when it comes to black sexuality, and so much of that is then also ingrained in an interracial component. So not only do you have a gender component to deal with, you have a sexual component to deal with, and you have a racial component to deal with. And there's very, very, very few places that I think you can go to try to reconcile with that and get any really informed information. So I'm gonna talk about this book a little bit. I read it some time ago and thought it was amazing. This is what it's called, The Color of Kink, and I'm not actually gonna go through the book too much. I think if I get to, like, there's some pictures in there and stuff, and I don't want to accidentally scroll on a picture and, you know, somebody flag my video or something because there is some nudity in it and so on. But it's an amazing book. I will link it down below. I got the ebook simply because the book was just too expensive, and I usually like to have a hard copy of something. It's just sort of how my mind works. But the book was really important to me, and I think it was like 30 bucks for the book versus 10 bucks for the ebook. So I got the ebook just for that reason. But I really wanted to support her and buy the book to show that there was interest in the topic, to inform myself on it, to be able to talk about it and reconcile with some of my own things, including race play, which is something that is interesting because I wouldn't necessarily consider myself into race play. I have a propensity for BDSM. My leaning is daddy dom little girl dynamics, and I have a preference for interracial dating. And so I've gotten a lot of flack in other videos and in the comments section about that, about how it's just about race play and it's about this and it's about, and you know, they turn it into something that it's really not. So it's interesting to read a book where somebody touches on the interracial component, where somebody touches on sexuality and that intersection of black feminism and you know, pornography and the race play in pornography, and reconciling with having kinks that are outside of the norm, although I don't think they're outside of the norm, but having kinks as a black female that are outside of the norm. So, you know, I don't think I have a whole lot that I can add to it other than to say, hey, there's this resource and I think it's really informative and I would read on it, and that you're okay being you, and here is some information and some resources to give some affirmation and to hopefully make you feel more comfortable with things that you have a difficult time with. Interestingly enough, as I said, I'm not super into race play, but my first sort of experience with it wasn't even firsthand. I was reading a black female's account in BDSM of having a preference for the master-slave dynamic and trying to reconcile with that as a black female. And my experiences personally have all been from sort of the other direction, where I've been in a relationship with a black woman and they have found it appealing, and I've really had to be like, oh my god, am I comfortable with this? Like, where are my boundaries? Where are my limits with this? What is my comfort zone? And it fucks with your head. Like, it really actually fucks with your head. Being in America, having such an ingrained, like, racial component, and having it in interracial dating, and especially when it comes to a white man with a black female. And I'm sure there's components that I'm missing when it comes to a black male with a white female, because that's a completely different taboo. But the sexual violence and the history of sexual violence for black females is a completely different component versus white females. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend the book. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear them down below. And as always, I appreciate you all. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and ideas. And that's it. Peace out.